Hey YouTube, what's up? This is 14780 here, and this is going to be my Ultimate Slayer Guide. Part 1 is going to be skills. Part 2 is going to be armor setup and weapons. What's the best weapons to use? Part 3 is going to be bank setup. And Part 4 is just going to be any questions and stuff that I didn't answer for Slayer. So hope you guys enjoy. Alright YouTube, this is part 1 of my Slayer Guide. Skills. As you can see, these are all my skills so far. 99 attack, 99 strength, 99 defense, HP, 94 range, 96 prayer, 90 mage, and 99 summoning, and 96 Slayer. So I have done Slayer, so I know most of the basics of Slayer and most of the higher level monsters. But the best way to start doing Slayer is to start as soon as you first become a member. It's the easiest way to get combat skills and stuff. I've done Slayer for most of my combat skills. Like, I've gotten strength, defense, HP, and summoning, and range and mage from Slayer. Slayer is actually a really good skill because you can do multiple Slayer tasks. One Slayer task can cover just about anything, so it's perfect to do. But if you want to power slay, I would try get piety. At least get piety. Get at least 60 attack, 60 strength, and I don't care what your defense is, because you can just, if you have piety, you have protect from melee. So if you're a pure, you can easily do most of your tasks. And then herblore. Herblore is actually really good for skills, so it's up to you. It depends on what you want to do. If you're already 90 or 92, 90 plus, it's up to you if you want to use extremes. I use extremes. It makes most of my Slayer tasks turn from an hour and a half to maybe an hour a task. It's a lot faster. It improves the tasks in there. They're pretty much considered worthless to me because I make them all the time. But even super sets are cheap. They're like, I think super strengths are like 2K, and super attacks are like 500 GPs or something, so it's still easy. So this is the end of part 1. Alright, this is part 2 of my Ultimate Slayer Guide. This is going to be the armor setups. Alright, so if you're a lower combat level, this is what armor you should mostly be looking like. This is without a Slayer helm or anything. This is okay Slayer gear, but if you want to, you can wear this. If you don't have high 70 defense, 60 defense, just stick with a rune defender, rune boots, and then change the weapon for whatever you're gonna do. Strength, attack or defense, or whatever. But if you have a fire cape, always use it over the skill cape. It's a lot better. Alright, now, if you want to go a little better gear, you can use barrels. Any barrel set's good. Any combat barrels is good, which is this. Now, if you have a barrels gloves, use barrels gloves over combat brace. If you have a Slayer helm, always wear a Slayer helm. It gives you gives you like better speeds or something. I think it gives like better. It lets you hit a lot higher than Slayer for your task. Now, if you have a ring, I wouldn't recommend Berserker ring unless you have extra money. But bring like a Ring of Wealth or Slayer's ring, or even maybe even a Ring of Dueling if you just want to teleport around. But if you have better gear than this, I suggest. I love using bandos. It's all around better. Well, better prayer and strength. It gives us prayer bonus and strength bonus, so it's good to use. And if you have water fiends, use Karill's Sarah's sword for crush. If you don't have enough for Karill's, then downgrade to black d'hide or whatever d'hide you can use. But it's still good. And then, the one quest I would recommend is do smoking kills just for the Slayer helmet and Slayer points. It gives you easily make more money. But also, if you don't have this, if you have like a Mage Slayer task, always take RMs. RMs or Mystic. It's a lot better to use. Alright, now a good mage weapon you should use is a Polypore Staff. It's actually really good right now. It's only a mil and it has 3,000 charges. And I easily hit 500s and I'm not even 99. But if you're maging, if you have an Arcane Stream, use Arcane Stream, Guthix Cape, and Infinity Boots. I just haven't had any time to buy any. And now for melee weapons. I'd say the best melee weapons you should use is COS and Dragon Defender, or Whip if you don't have any Chaotix. But most Slayer tasks I use Chaotic Mold because most of my Slayer monsters have Crush. It's better to use in Sarah Sword, or if you don't have any of these, but you do have like 6 mil cash, get a Sarah Sword. They hit as high as a Whip does, and they work on strength, so it's good. But if you don't even have that much, I suggest just using Karasi. It's only 300k, I think, 250k, and it still hits pretty high, and its specs hits extremely high. The only quest, I think it's Avoid Stairs Back is the only quest you have to do, but it's worth it. So this is into part 2. Hope you guys enjoy. This is part 3 of my Ultimate Slayer guide. This is going to be our bank setup. As you can see, I have common rings I use, Ferocious Rings and Slayer Rings, and Ring of Slaying, my extreme attack and strength, my extreme sets pretty much, prayer renewals, always good to use on Slayer tasks, summoning potions if you have Unicorn or Yak or Steel Titan and you just want to make this task faster, prayer potions if you're power slaying, ovals if you just want to overload a task or something, or unless you have a whole crap load of overloads and just use them. Super anti-fires for dragons, better than using an anti-fire shield. Sarah Brews and super restores just in case you're overloading and you need HP, just bring some of those. And spec restores if you want to make a task go really fast. And then these are the 4 common familiars I use. You could easily just switch these all out for the best one you can use. So instead of using a Yak, you can use a Toward the Terror Bird or Bull Ant. For unicorns, you can switch them out for Bunyips if you want. And then Steel Titans, just the best combat familiar you want to use. And then 2 common charms I pick up. I don't pick up any other charms since I'm already 99, but they're still worth picking up because even after 99 summoning, you still make some cash. But pick up all the charms if you want to. All the runes I use for Slayer, or rune loots I get. 2 common foods, Rocktail or a Shark. But you can always use Monkfish if you want to. It's not like you have to use these 2. If you want to go cheaper, you can go to Lobsters. Black D'hide, if I don't have Krills. 2 Soul Wars capes and 2 Fire capes. These are placeholders. If you don't have either one of these and you have an Arctic Cloak, I suggest using an Arctic Cloak over. And if you're using a Rapier, always use Arctic Cloak if it's 3, because it has better stab bonuses. Cannonballs and a cannon set. D boots and barrels gloves just for placeholders, so I know where they are. Infernal Ashes, Infernal Urns. I use these I would use these if you're not 99, not 99 prayer, or if you just wanna or if you just don't want to pick up the ashes, and you just use these. It gives you some prayer XP. Glories for teleporting. Fighter Torso if I don't have BCP. Or Fighter Torso is the best thing to use if you don't want to buy a Barrel's body. You can just use a Torso. Or if you have Bandos Tassets and you don't have BCP, just use Torso. Same stats, it just gives lower defense and doesn't give prayer. Herbicide, good for tasks. I use them for, I think I destroy all the herbs that are like less than 2k. It gives that Herblore XP. Enhanced Excalibur, that's good to use for regaining HP. I'd suggest you bringing this if you don't have claws and you just don't want to bring a DDS or something. It'll give you some HP. Holy Book, my weapons, and then my armor setups right here. So it's you just take two super. I usually take two extremes, unicorn, yak, or steel titan, depending on my task. Pull out of my armor. It takes maybe a minute to do this to pull out everything. So it's very fast. And then also I have an effigy tab. I don't put it in my drops tab because I'm trying to collect all the effigies for other 99s. Probably for rune crafting. This is my Slayer tab. These are just like maybe 6 or 7 tasks I've done. Not even 6, maybe 4 or 5 tasks I've done so far. I've gotten all these drops. And then these two are from Kingdom, which is really good money if you want to make money. I mean, if you wanna make money on the side, it's pretty good. And then buy your dailies, like battle stats and stuff. Give some extra cash. And then these are some stuff I've gotten from Kingdom and then Torasol and all that. I mean, it's pretty good money. This is like, I think this is 6 mil so far I've made off of doing Slayer. Infernal Ashes are really good. If you have Abyssal Demon Slayer task, I suggest banking these instead of leaving them on the ground. They're like 500 GP less than D-Bones, so they're like 3.5k each, and they're really good cash. So this is into part 2. This is into part 3. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is part 4 of my Ultimate Slayer guide. These are just some common questions I have been asked. What's the best potions you should use? It's up to you. Either you can use extremes or supersets. Either way, they do the same thing. At 99 attack and strength, supers raise me to 118, and extremes raise me to 125. So there's, I mean, extremes last a little longer, but they also come at a price because you need at least 90 herb to make attack and strength. And I don't use any defense ones, but you can use either range potions, range and mage potions if you want to. Mage give you +5, range give me +5 for my level, and range gives me 13. But extremes range raise me a whole lot higher. So I would suggest using those. But mage potions don't raise me that much. So I just use Woopertinger since it does exactly the same. Now I've been asked this very often. Would you rather use overloads or extremes? And overloads are pretty good because they raise all your combat stats and they restore. But the only bad thing about it is they only last for 5 minutes, which can come at a price if you just not. I mean, if you overload again and you only use it for like a minute. So I take extremes because extremes are a lot cheaper and overloads are like about 25. Not maybe. I think they're 10 to 15k a dose now, but they're still worth a good bit of money. And I would rather use my extremes instead. And now I would use super anti-fire over anything else. They're a lot more worth it than using anti-fire potion and an anti-fire shield or DFS, because these super anti-fire allows you to use like Zami Spear or something on a Slayer task, on Iron or Steel dragons, or any Dragon Slayer task in particular, or Rapier, or any chaotic that has stab. And you can always wear a defender, which will give you better attack bonuses and strength bonuses. So they're a lot better to use. Now, over spec weapons, it all depends on what you have. You can use DDS. DDS and D-Claws are exactly the same. It's just claws are faster than DDS. You have four specs with DDS, and you have 2 specs with claws. But claws use 50% and they hit 4 times, and DDS only uses 25% and hits 2 times. So they hit the same amount. It's just claws are faster. And then a cannon. It's up to cannons are a good thing to use, but it just depends on if you want to spend an extra money and get the task done a lot faster and get some range XP, or if you just don't want to use it at all. I use cannon all the time because either way, on all my Slayer tasks, I make money. And then on how to make a Slayer home, you need a black mask and no uses at all. Earmuffs, face mask, noose peg, and spiny helm. After you've complete smoking kills and have bought the Slayer helms where you learn how to make it, then you can do this, or else it won't work at all. You use a black mask on any of these, and it makes a Slayer helm. Then if you want to make a full Slayer helm, buy a Hex Crest and Focus Sight, and use them on the Slayer helm. Right now, a Slayer helm costs around 1.5 mil for a full Slayer helm, which is worth it because it allows you to hit more often if it's your Slayer task, and you're killing the monster that's your Slayer task. So it's really good XP. Alright, this is the end of my Ultimate Slayer guide. Hope you guys enjoy. Comment, rate, and subscribe, guys. Bye.